Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by for another card tutorial in the Everything Amazing stamp set series. So this is the third card in that series. I will link the other two down below in the description so that you can find those if you are interested. And I love this stamp set. Before we jump in with our paper stamps and ink, I just want to remind you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get notifications of future projects that I post. Let's go ahead and start with our paper. So I'm using some of the new in colors from this season, and I've got a piece of the Seaside spray that is 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at the 5.5 inch mark. Let's go ahead and use the bone folder to give that a nice good crease there. And then I've got a piece of the Rococo rose, and this is 2 1/4, I believe. Yep, 2 1/4 by 5.5. And then I have a piece of the Woven Threads Designer Series paper. I love this paper. I just think it's so beautiful, and it's wonderful with the new in colors. It's got all the in colors mixed in and out. So if you're looking for something to go with those new in colors, the Woven Threads DSP is a great buy. And this is 2 inches by 5.5 inches. And the other couple pieces of paper I have here is I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White. Just need to make sure that it's at least 3 by 4 inches so that it will fit our sentiment that we are going to then cut down. And I have my standard layer for the inside of my card that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 in Whisper White. So let's go ahead and assemble the basic parts of our card first. Oops, let me give you the stamps and the ink we're gonna use. I was just running to jump right by there. So I've got the Everything Amazing stamp set, and this is great because it's got these blank spots here that you can use to fill in some of these other sentiments. Now, I'm going to be doing a series on, or not a series, but another video showcasing some of the other stamps that I have that I'm playing around with fitting into here so that I can come up with all sorts of different sentiments using this same stamp set. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And then I am using the stitch nesting dies. Boy, that is a mouthful to get out. And so I am using the largest one in the series, and after we stamp, I'm going to use that to cut out this stitching, and hopefully you guys can catch that on the video. It gives you this beautiful stitching edge. Now I cut this side off so there's no stitching on that side, but they do provide another die in here if you want to use that for edging, and there's all sorts of fun things we can do with these, so I will be showcasing those in a multitude of ways over the next couple of months here. If you haven't picked these up, I highly recommend them. You can pick them up as a bundle with the Bird Ballad stamp set, so, or Free as a Bird stamp set. So it's part of a series or a bundle. You save 10% when you get that. But even if you just pick up these dies, I am a firm believer in having shapes, whether punches or dies. I think they're always useful, and you're going to get a lot of value for your money out of them. And then for the stamps, or the inks, I'm using the Seaside spray and Rococo rose inks. All right, now let's go ahead and get started. I am going to go ahead and put these onto our base quickly, just so I can get those pieces out of the way. And I'm using my trusty Tombow Mono Multi. It's my adhesive of choice for about 99% of the projects that I do. So, whoops. Pick up the whole piece. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure those are lined up. If you find that you have a little bit of extra, like I do here, just barely some peeking out there, I always let my DSP go a little long rather than short, because it's much easier to trim that off than to try and stretch it out. Last time I tried, paper does not stretch. So let's go ahead and adhere this down. Now Usually when I'm doing a side panel like this, I tend to put it partway over, but I thought do something a little different this time, and I actually went all the way up to the edge of the card base with that. And I love that Tombow Mono. It allows me to slide that around and get a nice even adhering on there. All right, now my inside layer, I'm going to do a little stamping on that, and I'm going to use this heart to just give some fun color on the inside. And let's go ahead and use the Rococo Rose because we'll have some of the Seaside spray showing through on base layer. And let's just go ahead and I'm going to come in here and do a heart in each of those corners. Just dress it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be super fancy. We'll adhere this down. Now, if you're unsure of any of the measurements, you can head over to my website. I'll have a link to the recipe card and directions for this, and then all of the supplies will be listed down below in the description to make that easy for you to find. Let's go ahead and set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in my Seaside spray and the amazing stamp set or sentiment. And I'm going to clean this off because I was using it earlier and I'm not sure if I got everything off of there or not. So let's nice good clean. Your photopolymer stamps will stain, and let's go ahead and bring our ink pad down onto the stamp because this is a larger stamp. Now I do have, when I say that about staining, I did order the new stamp cleaning pad, and once I get that in, I will give you guys a review of it, but it is designed to clean our photopolymer stamps, and I've heard some wonderful things about it, so I will make sure to share with you guys once I've had a chance to try it out for myself. And there we go. There's the amazing. And then we're going to use the You Are an Amazing Friend. And the photopolymer just makes this so easy to line these up. And I'm going to move this down towards the bottom because it is a little bit harder to do that without getting my head right over that. So I'm going to use the Rococo Rose to put these in. So You Are an Amazing Friend. Look at how great that lined up there. Let's move these ink pads out of the way, and I am going to bring in my Big Shot. I don't usually do this on camera. I try to save some time, but I do like to bring it out occasionally for those people who are not familiar with it. And also, when I have a stamped image like this, it's easier. As you can see, some of this does go off the edge a little bit of that stitching line, and if I was to stamp after I did the die cutting, then I'm gonna have a little bit harder time probably lining it up, and it's not going to close those in as well as it does. You're gonna see some gaps, some little pinholes there from the ink. And so let's go ahead and bring this in, and I'm gonna do my standard sandwich of putting a plate down. I'm putting my die on there. Let's scooch that over so you can see. And I am just making sure that I don't cut too much off there. I've got that right on the edge. It is quite a large stamp. The great thing about that is it does allow us to cover a lot of our card fronts. So they can be really quick and easy sentiments to use, especially if you were mass producing. Think about, you could get it lined up once on your Stamparatus and then just go to town. So I'm going to crank that through. And I did not go over far enough. So don't do as I did. Make sure that you leave that edge there, but you know what? That's okay. I'm just gonna fix that by coming in, and if you ever don't have your trimmer handy, you can always use the base of a card to line that up. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to line this up here, and let's open it up so I only have one layer. And I'm going to use that base to come in with my paper snips and give it a nice straight trim there. So that's got that side taken care of. I've got a little bit of a different look. And then I'm going to come and do the same with this side. I'm just lining up those corners. And let's make sure I don't cut off my A there. There we go. This is going to come over to the edge. And I've just got a little bit of a different look, but I think I am happy with that. So let's go ahead and get our dimensionals out. And I'm going to pop this up because it's going over a couple layers of cardstock there. So sometimes when things don't work the way you want them to, you just kind of go with it and see what you can make of the situation. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to peel these off. There we go. I'm going to line that up. Let's see, let's put it a little bit further up to the top. And line that up with that edge right there. And let's come in with some of our Faceted Gems. These are new in the catalog this season, and they come in all the beautiful in colors that we have here. And I'm going to use some of these Rococo rose pieces, and as always, I like to go in, let's see, I wonder, should I put one right there? Nope. I'm going to stick with my original pattern. I like to use odds whenever I'm using embellishments. And go right up here. And there we have, you are an amazing friend. I kind of like this little bit of a squared off edge. I think actually better than the point. But I don't know, you know, you tell me, which one do you like? I think they're both different. I just think this is a little bit more of an interesting shape. I've seen this, I've done this one before, so I kind of actually like that look. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment below. Let me know, which card do you like? And it's all up to personal preference. Remember, when you're making handmade cards, each one is unique and special. So until we talk again, make sure you grab your paper, stamps, and ink, and be creative.